Hey everyone, today we're diving into a heartwarming and beautiful love story, a special gift that Dele brings to Huyen and Maya. It's a simple love, but filled with sweet, unforgettable moments. But as life often goes, things are never quite that smooth and unexpected challenges soon fall on Huyen. Can Dele's promises and the dream of happiness he wants to build for his family truly come true? To understand more about the sacrifices, the struggles, and the unwavering belief in love, you won't want to miss this story. Join Huyen as she navigates the ups and downs, discovering whether the life Dele hopes to give them will become a reality. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share it so that this journey reaches even more people. Now, let's get started. The first light of dawn began to break through the mist, gently dissolving the haze. In the small house, Dele and Maya were still peacefully asleep. Huyen, however, had risen early, her movements quiet and purposeful as she tied her basket around her shoulder and stepped outside. Each step she took seemed weighed down by a longing for something bigger, a dream she kept close to her heart, a dream to help Dele, to help herself break free from the endless cycle of hardship. Today was no different. The lush green bamboo swayed gently in the breeze, reaching towards the sky. Huyen knew this path well. Every morning, it felt like a silent promise between her and nature. Occasionally, the sound of birdsong filled the air, but the only real noise was the soft echo of Huyen's footsteps. She bent down slowly, her fingers expertly gathering the tender bamboo shoots springing from the earth, fresh and full of life. She knew that each shoot represented a hope, a belief in the future. The marks of tireless labor. After a while, her basket was full of large, shiny bamboo shoots. She paused for a moment, taking a deep breath, and looked down at the rolling hills of bamboo stretching like an ocean before her. Her eyes shone with the quiet joy of a gardener who works without expectation, her heart beating not from exhaustion, but from an enduring hope that never fades. The market was bustling that day. The calls of vendors and the chatter of buyers blended into a lively symphony. Huyen set her basket down on the ground, took a deep breath, and began to call out, "Fresh bamboo, come and get it." Her smile was radiant bright as the summer sun. Everything seemed to fall into place. The bamboo was sold out, and a quiet smile lingered on Huyen's lips. She strapped her empty basket back onto her shoulder and walked briskly home, but she didn't feel empty inside. She knew that every step she took that day, every small moment, was a part of something much bigger, bringing her closer to her dream. Life would undoubtedly bring more challenges, but Huyen still believed that with persistence and the love she had for those she held dear, she would find her way. And no matter how many more foggy mornings she had to walk through, her hope would never fade. The sun beat down relentlessly, making the air feel heavier than ever. Dele sat there looking around the old house, but Huyen was nowhere to be seen. He frowned, muttering to himself, "Huyen, you're up so early." As he looked at the house, he was struck by how the days of being away had allowed wild grass to overtake everything covering the path to the house. In that moment, a thought crossed his mind. I should clean this place up a bit. Under the scorching sun, Dele got to work, hacking away at the thick clumps of grass. His hands, worn and calloused, glistened with sweat, that dripped down his face, soaking his old shirt. The heat seemed like it couldn't stop him. If anything, it pushed him to work even faster, determined to get the house in shape. A little while later, he spotted Huyen walking toward him, a basket hanging from her shoulder. He dropped what he was doing and rushed over to help her, his voice gentle. "You're back. If you're tired, take a rest. Why were you up so early?" Huyen smiled at him, a warm, reassuring smile. "I'm fine. I just wanted to help you a little." She replied, her words a balm to Deal's heart. When Maya ran up to her mother, her eyes sparkled and her tiny arms stretched out to greet her. "Mom, are you tired?" Maya asked, her voice full of sweetness and concern. Huyen bent down, hugging her little girl, her heart overflowing with happiness. Watching Maya grow and become more understanding, Huyen felt that life had more meaning than ever. Deal sat beside them, his eyes filled with tenderness as he looked at Huyen. "You've worked hard," he said. He took off his hat and waved it beside her to cool off, then gazed at her again, his love shining through. Their little house, once cold and silent, now felt warmer than ever. Dale looked at Huyen and gently said, "Why don't you rest a bit? I'll clean up the house." Without hesitation, Huyen replied, "How about I help you?" She continued, "I went to the market this morning and got some things. Let me cook us something." Deal nodded, a smile as bright as the morning sun spreading across his face. In the cozy little kitchen, with familiar surroundings, Maya sat beside Huyen, playing with the dog Bibi, her laughter filling the air like sparkling stars in the night. The fire in the stove began to burn, its smoke curling up, mixing with the atmosphere, creating a sense of warmth and home. Huyen moved quickly, her hands working skillfully, preparing each dish with care and love. Though it was a simple meal for Huyen, it was the purest expression of her love for her family. The three of them, though, tired, silently gave everything to each other, working together to build a peaceful home where love and hope would never fade. The sweltering heat outside couldn't touch the light that filled their hearts. These simple moments, though ordinary, were everything to them. Under the blazing sun, with the sky pressing down as if it were on fire, Daley was still hard at work fixing up his small house. Sweat poured down his face, soaking his old shirt, but he didn't back down. Every brick, every tile, every wooden beam he fixed carried with it a world of hope, a dream of a sturdy home for his family. This house was everything to him. It was the shelter for dreams that hadn't yet come true, and the heart of the life he was painstakingly building. Seeing Dale work so hard under the intense heat, Huyen couldn't hold back her concern. She called out softly, "Dale, come inside and take a break. Drink some water." Her voice was gentle, but full of care. She walked over to him tenderly, wiping the sweat off his brow, her hand as warm as it had always been. But her heart ached. She knew how tired he was, how much he had sacrificed for their family. Deal looked up at her and smiled, a soft but determined smile. "I'll finish quickly, while it's still cool." He said, his eyes filled with resolve, as if every challenge was just a small hurdle. He stood up, looked at the roof, and then reached up to climb onto it, ready to fix the tiles that had been displaced by the recent storms. The house seemed to breathe a sigh of relief as Deal worked, because he knew every little effort he put in was securing their future, ensuring safety for his family. From below, Huyen watched anxiously. Be careful, Dele. She called her words full of worry, but also an unwavering trust in him. She watched him, her eyes tracking every step he took on the roof. Huyen knew that no matter how difficult things got, Dele would always be strong, but she couldn't always protect him. Maya stood beside Huyen, her bright eyes following every movement Dele made. She didn't say much, but the simple, innocent words she spoke carried an invisible strength. Uncle Dele, you can do it. Her encouragement, pure and heartfelt, seemed to make the whole world pause for a second. Deal, standing on the roof, heard her words, and for a moment, his heart lightened. He continued his work, but something had shifted inside him. His efforts were no longer just for himself. They were to protect the people he loved. Amid the scorching heat and the endless labor, this small house was more than just a roof over their heads. For Dele, it was where he poured all his strength, all his hopes to build a peaceful, secure life for Huyen and Maya. And no matter how exhausting or difficult it became, he would never give up, because in these moments, he realized that this home was the most precious thing he could ever create. On a scorching, sweltering day, Dele's exhaustion seemed to melt away with the presence of Huyen and Maya by his side. The little house, after so many long days of hard work, was finally finished. Dale felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment as he looked at the familiar home, now stronger, more secure, and more beautiful than before. When Huyen stepped inside, her eyes lit up with a quiet joy, a happiness so simple, yet so full. Looking at Dele, Huyen knew how much he had given to their family, but she still gently said, "Dinner's almost ready. Go wash up and wait for me a bit." Her voice was soft, a reminder of the love and encouragement that Dele always felt from her, even in the toughest times. A gentle breeze began to blow through the house, carrying with it the mouth-watering aroma of the meal she was preparing. The air inside grew warm and comforting, almost as if love itself was spreading through every corner. Maya, the happy little one, ran around Dele, laughing and playing. Her giggles were like music, filling the whole house with their joy. Deal sat there looking at Huyen and Maya, a happiness in his heart that he had never truly felt before. All the hardships, the tough moments, it all seemed to fade away in this one perfect instant. He hoped that from this moment on, their lives would always be filled with love, happiness, and peace. He wanted Huyen to always be by his side, to share everything life had to offer. But life, as we all know, isn't always as peaceful as we hope. Just when it seemed like everything was falling into place, as the sun began to soften and their moments of happiness flowed easily, a shadow appeared. It was the Aunt Dela had feared the one who had once pushed Huyen out of his life, now standing unexpectedly before their home. The atmosphere in the house immediately shifted, and Huyen's worry was clear on her face. She knew this aunt wouldn't back down easily. She lowered her head and softly said, "Hello, Aunt." The aunt's gaze was sharp, cutting through Huyen's words. Without a reply, her eyes cold and distant. Deal felt the tension in the air, his heart tightening. He stood up, not wanting Huyen to feel too anxious, and said, his voice calm but firm, "What brings you here, Aunt? We just got home. Please sit down." For a moment, the whole space felt still, the words hanging in the air, but the weight of the situation didn't lift. Deal tried his best to stay composed, but deep down, he knew this wasn't over. The cold, calculating aunt wouldn't give up that easily. And so the story would continue with new challenges waiting ahead. What will happen next? What secrets will be revealed? And how will the conflict unfold? Stay tuned as the next chapter will reveal it all. Don't miss it.